My name is Nate Amacher. I'm the VP of Development here at FranSmart, and I am with Nick Faccihano. Today, Nick is now a multi-store franchisee in the PayMore family, was the first franchisee outside of New York, and it's been critical to their growth and sort of developing systems. And we just wanted to chat with Nick today, talk about his growth and how it's been going from 1 to 2 units, and sort of talk about his plans on the future. So Nick, appreciate you taking time. I know with 2 stores, you're a busy person, but yeah, well, please, catch us up. How long have you been part of the PayMore family, and get us up to speed to number 2.
Hey Nate, always good to talk with you. So I've been in tech and part of the PayMore family now for on and off 10 years. I worked for them originally up in New York, and life ended up taking me down to North Carolina. And I remained in tech and sales, and I wanted to start my own business and do my own thing. And that's when I reached back out to Eric about getting a franchise going down in North Carolina. At that point, they were only opened in New York. He was on board with it, and I was happy to kind of start a new career for myself, and something that I loved. Back when I worked for Eric, I had seen the opportunity and the potential for the growth and development of the business, and I was always fascinated by it, and that's kind of what led me to want to open up.
PayMore is a unique concept. There really isn't anybody doing what PayMore does with the level of sophistication and technology wrapped into every step of the way. Can you sort of give people that just sort of look at PayMore and go, what is it? What exactly do they do? Can you sort of give us a very 30,000-foot view of sort of what is a PayMore, and what's the goal, and what's driving these sales?
PayMore is going to be your one-stop shop for buying, selling, and trading electronics in a safe location. We're clean. We're not meeting some stranger on the street that's going to either rip you off or try to take advantage of you. We are the place to sell your electronics. We offer fair, top dollar pricing on it. We're not like the competition up the road where they're controlled by corporate puppet strings or some guy just trying to rip you off and offer low ball offers to take advantage of you.
Nice. And so number 1 was, what year was number 1 for you?
2019.
2019. And then how long has your second unit in Raleigh been open now?
3 months, maybe a little less. Yeah.
So I would be guessing to say that the second time around was different for you going through that process. Can you sort of walk us through the both timelines from when you signed a lease on number 1, if you can think far that go back to when you signed that first lease to opening to, and then sort of compare that to your second location, signing that lease and opening, and the difference it was for you in terms of the learning curve, and also if there's a different timeline on being able to open.
Back in 2019 when we opened, from the time I signed a lease to day 1 opening, it was about 3.5 months. That was very new to me. I had never owned a business before. I didn't really have any money. I put every penny I had into the business. And then the second time around, I kind of had an idea of what to expect with opening. From the time I signed the lease at store number 2 to the time we opened, it was a little bit longer. I want to say it was about 5 to 6 months, but that was all COVID related with staff shortages and getting permits for the building and everything. But I kind of knew what to expect going into it the second time around, and I was able to completely fund store number 2 with profits from my first location. So financially, I was in a much better spot. And it was kind of nice to see that one business kind of gifted a second business to me too. Um,
Yeah, and it's something we talk about when we talk to potential franchisees about paying more, that the ability to be able to self-fund. The goal a lot of times is after 2 units, but you were able to do it after 1 unit. How quickly after opening that first unit, taking in mind that you were a first-time entrepreneur, so still learning a ton, unit one, how long before you saw the potential for number two? And obviously it took a little while to sort of wrap around that and get to that, but when did you start thinking, I can do this again?
so you're absolutely correct. I had quite a learning curve for being an entrepreneur, a business owner with the first location. So to get to 1 to 2, it took me longer than what I expect to take from 2 to 3. I think realistically, within 12 to 18 months after opening a store, you should be able to get another one open.
And then you said from 2 to 3 is going to be a little quicker. So have you thought about number 3 already? And if you have, where are you at with that?
I have started thinking about it already, and I'm kind of, I guess, feeling the market and location for having multiple units open. Obviously, you don't want to put them too close together. You don't want to have one store competing with the next. So I've kind of been researching a little bit and working with Eric and Steven about strategic placement for another location. So being opening the first store, being a first-time business owner, that was kind of a big learning curve for me. And now being the first franchisee to have multiple units open, I'm kind of learning with everyone else along the way too. So I'm trying to pass the torch on to the others as well and show them the right way to do things.
It's something I wanted to touch on too, because Nick, you're such a unique case, being taking a concept to a brand new market, being a first time entrepreneur, doing that. We talk a lot about PayMore's point of sale system and the benefits in terms of, one, it's the margins and the profit it drives, but also the support aspect of it. And so I know, have played a critical role in that, because you were able to give direct feedback to PayMore founders, Eric and Steven, as they because it's a proprietary software, they can sort of make changes in the moment on. How has that system evolved from when you opened your Cary location to now, in terms of not so much the number piece, but the support piece, that as more franchisees come on, and obviously we have those chats that are available to hourly employees, to franchisees only. How has that evolved and be able to support new people coming online?
It's funny because when I opened up, I kind of knew the point of sale system from when I worked there. They made some upgrades to it at that point. And I kind of had it in my head, the order of operations, the processes, and how to use it. And then as more stores opened, like when Gastonia opened after me, that franchisee was Lisa was completely brand new to it all. So it was kind of getting new perspective as more employees started working, as more stores started opening up. We kind of realized that we all had the same needs for the system, and we all kind of leaned on each other, especially the original 4 stores that were open. We all kind of communicate together. Hey, I think this would work well. This is going to help cut time and cost and payroll with getting processes done. And as soon as one store would vocalize that, all the other stores would kind of be like, oh yeah, that actually would work for us too. So it's funny how you think one thing, and as soon as you hear it, everyone kind of knows that they need it too. So we all discuss it. We submitted the update request up to Eric, and he'll manage to get it done for you. And then, yeah, we all have our franchisee chat, and then we also have a company-wide chat where every PayMore employee has a say in the company and, you know, what would work for them or any kind of changes that might help get the job done. And they're very, Eric and Stephen, they're both very, very hands-on with that. They listen to everything that every employee says, and they find they find ways to make the job easier for everyone. The goal, it seems, is to be to put get as much done with the least amount of clicks on the computer and the least amount of time being put into it. And with the different integrations that they've incorporated from the time I opened to now, it's like night and day. It feels like it's completely different, but for the better.
So the company-wide chat, and I wanted to touch on this a little bit because as more franchisees come aboard, and not everybody has the same tech background. It's the reality is we're getting all walks of life, you know, experienced franchisees of food, non-food, first-time entrepreneurs, some people with a large experience in technology, some have almost zero. That chat, and I hope I'm saying this right, is almost acts as a virtual employee in terms of if somebody comes in and you have a question on either what somebody's bringing in or just a piece of technology or equipment. Correct me if I'm wrong, that is almost what that's like, because there is, not as PayMore grows and more stores come online, there's just more resources available and more people with that sort of tech savvy that can chime in and support.
You're absolutely right, Nate. It's funny watching it evolve and more stores come into that chat and more employees. And I think every employee that contributes to it really, really enjoys it because they have their own voice in the company. They all help each other out. It's just constant support all day long. And for those who don't have any kind of tech background or people who are not so, I guess, tech savvy in their everyday life, the communication and the updates in our system, they make it very user friendly. They're making it so that it's literally only a couple clicks to find the answer what you would need if it's not directly available, like in the chat or I guess accessible at their own fingertips.
How beneficial is the chat and all the sort of the point of sale, the data it has in terms of training a new employee? Like how quick can you get somebody hired and essentially up to speed where you have faith in them, either whatever function they're doing, to be able to do it and do it well?
The most how do I word it? Give me a second. Let me think of the wording for this. The most intricate job in a PayMore store would probably be buying, which is where the point of sale system thrives. That's at the fingertips, right at the point of purchasing a product. And all the features that are right there could get a new employee first time buying to being able to do a transaction on their own, I'd say within about a week's time. So it's minimal training. You're not going in, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks of not being able to get a grasp on the job or what's needed to be done. All the features in there make it very user friendly in terms of pricing something, checking serial numbers. Phones are a big thing that we buy, checking what networks that they're compatible with. All that is right there at the buyer's fingertips so that they can check that and go through a transaction within minutes.
And the point of sale, not only is it beneficial, obviously in store and working with customers and providing a frictionless experience where they can be in and out in minutes and feel like, you know, and see their data has been wiped, and also, and on the employee side, be able to have these guardrails of what you should be paying and ideally what you should be listing something for, and knowing margins and all those great things that this point of sale system offers. There's also that piece that I like to touch on sort of the remoteness of it, where you being the owner, you don't have to be there to see transactions and know what is listed and inventory. And I was hoping you could sort of touch on that ability to be not in the store daily, but still have your pulse on what's happening.
Absolutely. I mean, there are live updates throughout the day, so we can see how much money is being spent, how many products are being bought, new customers, returning customers, a daily report sheet showing everything that was purchased. So it makes it very not user friendly. It makes it very friendly for a store owner to be remote, like as I am most of the time now. I can't be in multiple locations at once. I just got back from a family vacation, and I was able to check store numbers, daily, and see everything that I would need to be as if I was actually in the store.
How has that evolved for you from opening store number one to being, I like to hear a timeline or just the journey of how much you were in the store daily to as you got your systems and sort of, we've talked about this as you learned how to hire the right way and staff for where you want to be, not where you were. Seeing the end goal and knowing, hey, this is where I want to get in sales, so I'm going to staff accordingly to get there. And then just walk us up to how much you were into the day-to-day or in the store on a daily basis when you started looking for number two.
I started off, I was in there all the time. I basically lived in there, entrepreneur 101 mistake, I guess. But yeah, I was in there all the time. And now I'm in the store maybe a few hours a week, checking in, making sure everything is okay. Staff has what they need to get their job done. And getting to that point, kind of like you touched on, was about hiring the right people. And hiring in this line of work is actually not that bad, I found out. A lot of people like to work with tech and electronics, and that's anyone from their college years or early 20s up to I have someone in their 50s working there as well.
How many employees do you have at each location right now?
Currently, I have 5 at my first location, and I have 3 at my second location.
And how has opening number two in terms of ramping up sales been for you? Have you done anything outside what the normal local marketing plan that PayMore sort of suggest, and you're seeing those same benefits, or have you gone outside that box and done some things that you've done in the past to really help kick it off?
Our traditional online AdWord campaigns work very well. Besides that, though, both Cary and Raleigh locations, I've done either grand openings or community events. In June, we just got approved to be at a video game event that we're going to be a vendor at, which is pretty cool. So we're trying to stay embedded in both the Cary and Raleigh communities. That's been helpful. We've generated a lot of loyal customers at my first location. Some good retention there. People come in, just browsing. They end up buying something, for their kids or for themselves. And a majority of them are repeat. They come in, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to come back in.
Yeah, I recall you saying you have regulars, and I thought that was only at bars that they had regulars. But you guys, PayMores tend to, give a great experience, make people feel safe, do a fair. The negotiation or the buying and selling is very fair, and people sort of, I think that they come back and recommend friends. It's been proven not just at your locations and how your team work with customers, but I think all locations experience the same thing. And I think the system is set up and the goal to take care of customers. It's great to get a good deal, but you want people to feel like they've been treated fairly. And I think PayMore with their systems allow you to do that and also get a great deal, but let somebody know that, hey, here's the whys, we're offering this much, and we want you to come back, and we're not here to take advantage of you. There's always the conversation of, well, aren't there other ways people do this? You have your third party, your Facebook marketplace, your OfferUp, your Craigslist. whatever site that is. I think PayMore, and I'd love to hear you say this, they offer, it's a safe, you said it, frictionless, the data wipe, but it's also, you're getting a reliable product. It's backed by a warranty, and you can't get that on those other sites. A Craigslist, OfferUp, a Facebook Marketplace. You're not going to get a warranty on that. And PayMore offers, and can you fill me in the PayMore warranty, what that is?
Yeah, so we back all of our products with a 30-day warranty right off the bat. That's included with every purchase. So if there's any defects with it, we can either replace it for you or offer what you paid back as trade towards something else. And if you're within the first 7 days of purchasing it, you get a full refund back if needed. No questions asked. And absolutely, Nate, that's something that you're not going to get by meeting a stranger on the street who's using a temporary phone number, or someone who may not have wiped all their data off of the device that they're selling to you. And many people out there may, or actually may not know, that a lot of devices now could actually get locked with accounts, which prevent another person from using it. And because of our network and our systems, we have the expertise to ensure that anything that you buy from one of our stores will be completely wiped. And we back that. We back that right off the bat. And we also offer extended warranties if needed, which go up to 3 years.
And if somebody walked into PayMore and you were one of those 2 days that you're in the stores now, and said, "Hey, this is cool. Why would I franchise? What's the real benefits besides, or what are the real benefits to being a PayMore franchisee? What do you now, multiple years in it, look at and go, this is really the secret sauce, and this is really something that you want to get into now?"
Sorry about that. I had a notification there. Right off the bat, what I can tell you is the low startup cost on it, the ability to hire employees that like the job and their responsibilities, the ability to scale, and the excellent margins that we can get and remain profitable.
Nick, what's the quality of life for a PayMore owner, franchisee?
Oh, it's been pretty good.
What are your hours right now? Your operating hours. What hours are the store open?
Yeah, hours of operation Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, and Saturdays 11 to 3, and closed on Sundays.
With 5 employees, limited hours on Saturday and closed on Sundays. I think it speaks to a quality of life that few other businesses offer. Because when the doors are locked for the night, they're locked, and there's but you also are generating sales 7 days a week. I think standard for PayMore is around, and correct me if I'm wrong, 70% online sales, right around there.
Yeah, it's right around there, which this is what I was going to touch on with you next in regards to the hours. Even though the doors are locked, the sales don't stop coming in because of that digital presence and online presence that we have in the electronic industry. And our mega store that was designed for every location has been a crucial and pivotal part in that growth.
Which will, I think, only get bigger as more and more franchisees come on. And it's, I think it's really the more locations that open, it's going to benefit everybody in the long run. Just
Yes.
More brand awareness. There's an appetite for these. I don't see going away. And I think PayMore is just now scratching the surface of what's available. There's other levers outside the 4 walls. I'm looking forward to seeing PayMore sort of pull and drive more sales to franchisees as it continues to grow. So Nick, honestly, want to thank you for your time. I know you're busy. I'm looking forward to the next Discovery Day that you're hosting. A group from somewhere in the United States. I know I've been lucky to come out there multiple times and hang out and see you go from 1 unit to 2 units, and your growth as a business owner. It's been just from the outside looking in, it's been pretty cool to see. And And thanks again for the time. And looking forward to, like I said, seeing you in person and seeing number 3, hopefully sooner and later.
Yes. Yeah, Nate, always a pleasure. I always like seeing you when you come down and getting on calls or, answering the phone if you ever need anything.
All right.
I enjoy helping and contributing.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it as always. And I'll be in touch soon.
Thanks.